Hey, lovers! Welcome to the Book Lovers Club, the podcast where we celebrate Black Sapphic love stories, one book at a time. I'm your host, Joy, a married lesbian, lifelong book lover, and relational communication scholar. Here, we don't just read the romance, we learn from it. I believe that love stories can do more than just entertain us. They can teach us how to love better, how to see ourselves more clearly, and how to create the love life of our dreams. Each week, I'll dive into sapphic stories written for us and by us, while weaving in personal insights and communication lessons you can take off the page. So grab your drink, get cozy, and let's turn the page together. Welcome to the club. Hey, book lovers! Welcome back to another episode of the Book Lovers Club. And I hope y'all enjoyed my last episode, which was an interview with author Erica Alexander. I definitely enjoyed talking with her and getting to know more about her and the books that she's written. But now it's back to our regularly scheduled programming, okay? Today, we are going to be recapping my most recent book club meetings and then also previewing the books that we are going to be reading for March. If you're new here and you're not sure how things operate, at the first of the month, we preview the books that we're reading for that month. Then, as you all are reading along with me each week, I pull some themes from the book to talk about it on the episode. And then we have an episode dedicated to just reviewing and rating the books. And then at the end of the month, we have an interview with an author. So far, that's been the cadence. And now we're reading 2 Black Sapphic books a month. But if you are a slower reader, please, by all means, read what you can. And if you would like to discuss these books with me, we have a Facebook group for the podcast. I'm also on Fable. And then you can also just find me on social media if you would like to talk about these books. Please, I do not mind people DMing me, hopping in my comments, finding me on threads, whatever is your flavor. If you want to yap about books, I am here and ready to yap with you about books. But everything you will ever need to know about me, my brand, how to get in contact with me, where to connect with me can be found on my website, which is thebookloveher.com. Okay? So let's jump in. So today I am going to talk to y'all a little bit about some of the books that I've read recently because I just think y'all might want to know about some books that you should add to your TBRs. And for those of you who are not deep into the book lingo, TBR just stands for to be read. So you probably see that on Bookstagram and Book Talk and just on the internet, people talking about TBR lists, to be read list, okay? So these are books that I think that you all should read. I read 12 books in February, and most of the books gave me my life. In fact, none of the books were bad. I enjoyed all of them. Most of them were 4 and 5-star reads, okay? But the Black Sapphic books that I read, every single one of those books were fire. So I want to make sure I put them on your radar. But before we get into all of that, I went out of town this past weekend. If you are following me on social media, you've probably seen all the footages, okay? You've probably seen it all. But I had my entire life given to me this past weekend in Atlanta. And little baby is paying for it. I have been tired all week. I have never gotten to a point where I was tired from traveling. I love to travel. Okay? And this is my what is it, Q1? My first quarter of the year, my travels. Me and wifey had a companion pass with Southwest. We were getting a buy one get one free deal from January until March. So I tried to squeeze in as many trips as I could during that time. So between January to now, I've been to Arizona, we went to the Olympic Peninsula and went to Seattle and that part of Washington. And then we just got back from Atlanta. And I say all of this because I am tired, y'all. I'm so tired. I'm tired of eating out. I am here for the home cooked meals. I want to sleep in my own bed. I can understand now how people who, if they travel all the time for work, how easy it is to get over it real fast, okay? Real fast. As much as I love to travel, I was really craving my bed. I probably am going to be sitting my ass down for a little bit, okay? I am tired. I need to recuperate. But Atlanta gave me life. I had so much fun. So I've been talking about the Secret World of Maggie Grey release event for a while now. So in a lot of episodes, I would mention how I was going to go to this event to support Granger. She is one of my favorite authors. I discovered her last year and completely fell in love with her pen game and her books and just the fantasy world that she's built. So when she announced that they were gonna have a book signing event in Atlanta, I have book besties that live in Georgia, and we really nerd out about Maggie Grey, all things Granger with each other. We had a group chat and we bonded over our love of these books. So as soon as she announced that she was having this book signing event, the girls were like, "Hey, how fun would it be if you came to Georgia and came to Atlanta and we all went to this event together?" And I said, "Say less. I'm on a companion pass too. Wifey could come, say less." And I did exactly that. And I have no regrets. So I definitely flew my ass from Chicago to Atlanta and stood in line for hours just to get my book signed by Granger. No regrets. And when I tell you everybody showed up and showed out, the outfits were spectacular. It was given Drew Collins University homecoming realness, okay? I had so much fun. And I was really excited for my outfit. Like I had on the elf ears. I was channeling schoolgirl, legacy row, okay? And all of the different versions of the schoolgirl outfit. It's like everybody put their own spin on the outfit. You know, no two outfits were the same, even though we were all wearing similar DCU alumni shirts and all of that. Like, y'all, it really was just a magical experience. She attracts a certain type of reader that really made for the event to just have so many good vibes. I really enjoy just nerding out about these books with all of those beautiful Black people in the building. Okay. And then when I finally got to the front to meet her and get my book signed, she is such a sweetheart. Granger is such a sweetheart. Like we were kikiing for a little bit. So she asked everybody, like, who's your favorite character in the Maggie Grey universe? And you know, I'ma show up and show out for Hamora. Even though I am a big Maggie Grey fan, like I love Maggie Grey. The series is like based on her, everything. I love her. But the Mortal Affairs, that particular book, it's just my favorite out of the series so far because books 5 and 6 are coming out soon, and you never know. They might come in swinging and, like, make me rethink my placements, okay? But The Mortal Affairs is my favorite book out of the series. I've read that book at least 6 times so far. Every time I fall into a reading slump, I reread it. It is, like, my favorite, and I love Hamora. I love Hamora. She is like my favorite character. So to see Granger channeling Hamora with the orange wig, and then it was other people dressed up as Hamora, I was like, yes, you know, just I just had so much fun to see this community that she's built. And it's really inspiring to see an author cultivate this type of community and how people really showed up and showed out for her. I wasn't the only person that traveled from out of town, from out of state to come meet her, to come pick up their book. Like, I was not the only one. So the fact that she brought all these beautiful Black people together because of a book world that she created, just kudos to you, girl. And I really did have a time. And while I was there, I got to meet D.O. Robinson in person. So I was standing in line and I kept staring at her like, I know her face. Where do I know her from? And then she looked at me and then we had a moment. It was like, hey, finally clicked. Like, I interviewed you. You know, seeing people on video and seeing somebody in person is just a different vibe and a different experience. But I really enjoy connecting with her. And we'll both be at Black Romance Book Fest. So hopefully I have another chance to really connect with her again. You know, I'm all for networking and stuff and all for building connections and relationships and community in this space. Okay. So being there and being able to connect with other Black Sapphic authors really was like the cherry on top. I also got to connect with Monique Good. So she has a book called The Cure of Us that I'm really excited to read. And she agreed to come on my podcast, y'all. So I'll be interviewing her soon and getting to know her a little bit better. Like I said, it was just an amazing experience to be in that space with so much like black, just joy and excellence and all the different costumes and just how we all just bonded over our love of books. It was really refreshing. And then being able to connect with some authors in the Black Sapphic space, it really did, like, just like I said, it was a cherry on top and it was the highlight of the trip for me. But shout out to my book besties, okay? Because I had such a great time with them and they showed me a really good time. But I'm glad to be back home. Not even gonna hold y'all, okay? I'm tired. I am tired. My energy has been depleted, okay? This was slightly too many trips back to back for me, but I will probably do it again. Okay? Look, gotta live life while we can, okay? So I will probably be doing this shit again, but I have an appreciation for my bed. I do know that much. I do have an appreciation for my bed. I have an appreciation for sleep because I'm definitely one of those people that will stay up all damn night, especially if I got an early morning flight. I'm gonna stay up all night and pack. I am very much a late packer. I don't do anything in advance. Okay. Me and wifey will pack literally hours before the flight. Okay. I will sleep on the plane, but I'm starting to pay for it. Okay. That lack of sleep, because as much as I tell myself I'm going to sleep on the plane, I start reading. And then I can't sleep on the plane because the book done got good, okay? But it was a great time, and it really got me in the headspace of attending more book events, especially Black book events. That was just such a great experience. So, honestly, we did spend a lot of time just standing in line, but standing in line, you get to bond with the people that you're standing in line with. So I will say I probably had a really good experience because of the people that I was in company with. So us standing in line for that long period of time, we were just cracking jokes and talking about the books, and they were doing trivia and things like that. So I will say, like, any future book events that I go to, I think having good company with you, especially if you're going to be standing in line for a long time, is something to be mindful of. Wearing comfortable shoes, I had on some loafers. I could not imagine doing that much standing in line wearing some heels or something, okay? So, if you're going to these book events and you're gonna be in a long wait to connect with your author, get your book signed, all that stuff, make sure you have on some comfortable clothes and some comfortable shoes, okay? Be well fed, have some snacks on you, good company around you. These are all things that I think really did contribute to me having a good experience at this event, because it really was a lot of waiting in line like we were at Six Flags waiting on a roller coaster ride, okay? And it was worth it. Granger was worth the wait. Just things to be mindful of if you're going to any book events for the first time. So, I'm excited. If the other book events I go to bring me these type of vibes, then sign me the fuck up, okay? So the next book event, like I said, I'm going to is Black Romance Book Fest. I was blessed enough to be able to get tickets to that because it was a fight. It was a fight, and people have been really upset about not getting tickets, and I'm just grateful that I got mine. And then the other book event that I'm going to is the Chicago Urban Book Festival. So I'm still trying to find someone who will go with me to that. I've been seeing people on the interwebs putting out calls, asking who's going to the book events. So I will see who in my book network will be at that event so I can have someone to yap with while we're waiting in line. All right. But I'm excited for that one too. I just placed my pre orders for my Jacquel J books. So I will finally have some Jacquel J books on my shelf. I'm very excited. Look, I've been stalking these pre sales, getting my pre orders in for the festivals so I can make some shit shake. I've been trying to get some of her books, and her books sell out so damn fast too, like Beyonce tickets. Y'all have been making it really hard to be a fangirl for y'all. It is so hard getting these books. Either way, I digress. I'm excited for these upcoming book events, okay? This has really gotten me in the headspace. So I'm actually going to look for more. I just love nerding out with people. Look, I'm a proud nerd. I'm a fan of a lot of things, and connecting with other fans is just a really good experience, okay? Well, enough of that. Enough of that. I just had to tell y'all. Like, I've been in a good mood. Despite how tired I am, that event really did leave me in a good mood and makes me want more. Like, I wanna have more experiences like that, you know? Maybe not the standing in line for hours, but I no regrets. It was worth it. I did, despite all of that, have a really good time. But being around like-minded individuals, it really does feed my soul, okay? Community is everything to me. Community is everything. And seeing how she amassed that type of community, like, it's just inspiring. I really hope to cultivate that kind of community for myself. I'm building it. I'm getting there, okay? I definitely have some OGs, some day ones in this thing with me, and I'm building it. But yeah, community is everything. Well, before I get into what I was really supposed to be talking to y'all about today, I just want to put some books on your radar. So I read some Heat in February. I really did. And I want to make sure that y'all know that I read some Heat in February and that you should consider reading some of these books because they were so good to me. So, the book club. So, we had our book club meeting on February 21st. And this was our first book club meeting that we ventured outside of the library. So, we went to a Black owned restaurant on the south side of Chicago called S2 Grill. It's on Stony Island for any of my Chicago folks. Highly recommend. The food was so damn good. I am thirsty to go back, okay? So we will be going back there again for our next book club meeting because we enjoyed it so much. The daiquiris were daiquiring. The service was impeccable. Our waitress had me laughing. She took photos for us. She kept us entertained. It was a good time. But the food was very good. I also like the aesthetic in there. It was cute. Sometimes places that are good aesthetics, the food's not good. This place had good ambiance, good aesthetics, and the food was good, which is great. But our February book picks, big hit. Everybody loved those books, okay? A Little Kissing Between Friends was a fan favorite. Everybody enjoyed that book. Now, we all agreed that we hated the miscommunication trope, but the consensus was that they really enjoyed that book. And even Carmen Lee's book, Peaches and Honey, really enjoyed that book as well. In fact, they enjoyed Carmen Lee's book so much that they voted to read another one of her books for this month. So this is the first time that we're reading an author 2 months in a row. Usually we switch it up, but they wanted to read another Carmen Lee book. And look, I was pushing for another book because I had already read this book by her, and they were like, "No, this is the one we want to read." But when I really like something, I don't mind rereading it. So I'm excited. Both of the books that we're reading this month I've read previously, but I am going to reread them with the book club and discuss them, but we'll get into that in a second. The books that I read in February, outside of the ones that we read for this podcast and for the book club, I just want to put on your radar. So, Carmen Lee dropped a Valentine's Day novella on Valentine's Day. Okay, it's called Strap and Swoon. I wanted to make sure y'all knew about that. Okay, because she slid that book in there. All right, it's a very short and spicy read. Obviously, it's got strapping in there, hence the title, Strap and Swoon. And I promise you, you're going to read this book and swoon. It's so damn cute. I enjoyed it. It was a 5-star read for me. I just wanted to make sure that y'all knew that. And I know that Valentine's Day is over. The holiday has come and gone. However, a holiday book you can read whenever you have free will, and I think it's a good choice of free will. I enjoyed the damn book, and I wanted to make sure that y'all knew because it's a short book. I want to say it was like 6 chapters, okay? But you're gonna read it in swoon. So it's called Strap and Swoon. She released it on V-Day. Just putting y'all on, okay? I enjoyed it. The other book that I read that I really loved and wanted to make sure that y'all knew about, D.O. Robinson, she dropped, well, this isn't a new release, but she has a Valentine's Day novella as well called Already Know. The book picks up where The Holiday Truce, her Christmas book, left off. It is good. It had me sucked in. And it's got some drama in there too, some messy lesbian drama. Yes, it's set around Valentine's Day, but like I said, we have free will. You do not need to wait for next year's Valentine's Day to read these books, y'all. I promise you. And they are good regardless of the holiday. A good use of free will. Reading books whenever the hell you want to read them. They were good. Okay. So, Strap and Swoon, already know, novellas, easy, short reads, spicy, short and spicy like I like it. I wanna make sure y'all knew about it, okay? Another book that I read in February that I wanna put y'all on, alright? L.M. Bennett has a book called You Were Almost Home. Me and another book clubber, we buddy read that book together, and that book had us in our feelings, but in a good way. It has so much messy lesbian drama though, okay? I mean, so much messy lesbian drama. It was over relatable, but it's so good. I wanted to make sure y'all knew about that because me and her were reading it and gobbling that up. And she was dropping some gems in that book. It had a lot of quotable passages, okay? A lot of quotable excerpts. So that book, I'm telling y'all, I read some really good Black Sapphic books. That L.M. Bennett book was so good and messy. The other book I wanted to put on y'all radar. So I've been on the hunt for some Black Sapphic graphic novels and comic books. So I had went on Threads and asked them, like, do y'all have any recs? And my friends, they delivered. Okay? They delivered. So one of the recommendations was Bingo Love by T. Franklin. I went and bought that book. So I read books on my Kindle, but I also have an iPad mini. So I had thought about buying a Kindle Color Soft, but I like the color gradient better on the iPad. The colors are very muted on the Color Soft, and I would only want one to like read comic books and stuff like that. But my iPad mini is gonna do the trick every time. So I read comic books on that. So I bought the ebook version and read it on my iPad. Y'all, the storyline is so cute. It's messy too. It's got a little drama, little mess, but I love the artwork and just the representation. So if you're looking for a graphic novel or a comic book, highly recommend. Like you won't be disappointed. It's really good. There's a version called Bingo Love, the Jackpot Edition. And that one's like an anthology. Like, it has, like, a lot of different stories in that one, so, that's the one I would recommend because I got the jackpot edition, and it had more than one story in there, so just really good if you like graphic novels and comic books, okay? Highly recommend, highly recommend. So, if you're looking to add some things to your TBR, go ahead and do that. Also, in addition to the books that we're reading this month, me and a couple of the book clubbers are also reading Outdrawn by Deanna Gray. So, if y'all are fast readers or looking for something else to read, I highly recommend y'all pick that up and read along with us. I can't promise you that Outdrawn won't be a monthly book pick in the future because it is one of my favorite Black Sapphic books, and I would love the chance to, like, actually talk about it on the podcast with y'all, but we're just buddy reading it right now. Okay, so let's get in to the book picks for March. So like I told y'all, the book club members wanted to read another Carmen Lee book, and it is the book that she discussed with us in the interview that I did with her. So if you have not had a chance to listen to my previous episodes, her episode is Vibes Don't Lie. It was a great conversation. I did not want the conversation to end. And we were talking about her new dark sapphic romance, Mine, Yours, and Ours. So that's one of the book picks for March. The book clubbers really wanted to read it, and I let them choose. So that is the one of the books that we're reading this month. And I'm gonna read the description for you all if you haven't had a chance to check out the book, okay? The other book that we're reading is one of Erica Alexander's books, Where There's Smoke. This book I read last year, and it was one of my favorite Black Sapphic books of 2025 that I read. So we're reading her book again for the podcast. So everyone else, they're new to this book. I've read it already, but I'm reading it again because I loved it that much. Okay. And we're already discussing it. The girls already are liking it. So we already had some preliminary. I like just share your thoughts around the book as you're getting into it. So I think y'all gonna enjoy this one because it's already getting a lot of positive praise in my group chat. So Where There's Smoke by Erica Alexander. And I also interviewed her. So last week's episode is an interview with her. Go listen to that. So let me give you a description so you can know what you're signing up for. All right, so this is the description for Where There's Smoke by Erica Alexander. And this description is on Goodreads. Where there's smoke, there's bound to be a fire. However, fire never smelt this good. Everyone knows Phoenix Fee Preston as the gorgeous, gentle giant, always ready to help in any way she can with a smile on her face. Ever since she was younger, she has always looked up to her grandfather, the town's fire chief. She admired him and respected him, having been raised by him from the age of 6. So it's only natural that when she turned 18, she followed in his footsteps, becoming the first and only female firefighter in the small town of Tucker, Louisiana. When her grandpa passed away suddenly, she left town because it was hard being there when he wasn't. It isn't until a year later that she finally returns. And as if the universe was gifting her for returning, she runs into a beautiful woman who immediately captures her heart, not only with her beauty, but with a slice of strawberry shortcake. However, the moment is short-lived, and the woman disappears from her life, leaving only the taste of sweet dessert and her name behind. A year later, that mysteriously intriguing woman permanently moves to town to take over her late grandmother's bakery. Angel Savoy has spent a great deal of her adult life avoiding small towns because of the bad memories she had involving her parents' death. But now she has no choice but to move to one. To her surprise, the town quickly grows on her, and she can see herself putting down roots in Tucker, especially after she reconnects with a certain very attractive female firefighter who stops at nothing to make her smile. I'm telling y'all, this book, y'all are going to enjoy it. I can't wait. I can't wait to discuss this book with the book club, okay? All right, book 2 that we are reading, Mine, Yours, and Ours by Carmen Lee. Here is the book description from Goodreads. Spite built her armor. Desire might be her downfall. Melissa Dubois. I despise Dante Kincaid. Arrogant, reckless, stupid enough to marry me. Now he's dead, and freedom is within reach. Until his twin walks in with the same perfect face and a darker, sharper fire that fuels my desire like no one before. Dominique Kincaid. I swore I wouldn't come back until I was ready. But Dante's disappearance drags me home to a family I hate and a war I never asked for. If I'm going down, I'm taking everyone with me, starting with the beautifully dangerous wife my brother left behind. That sounds interesting as well. So make sure y'all grab your copy and read along with us. The episode when we discuss these books will drop on the 21st, and then my interview with author D.O. Robinson will drop on the 28th. So grab your copy, read along with us, tune in. If you would like to discuss these books, I already told you where to find me. And I really would love to hear your thoughts. I want to know if you like the books as much as I did. Our next book club meeting is going to be on March 21st. So if you're in Chicago and you would like to connect with us in person and attend one of our book club meetings, please head on over to my website and make sure that you subscribe to my weekly newsletter. I include the information for the book club meetings in my newsletter every Monday. Thank you for tuning in to the Book Lovers Club. If you love today's episode, make sure you subscribe so you never miss a chapter. And if you're feeling generous, leave a review, because you know those reviews help other lovers find us. So if you want to keep this conversation going, please join me on Instagram or hop on over to Fable to join the virtual book club. And until next time, remember, the stories we read can help us write the love lives of our dreams. See you next Sapphic Saturday.